All right, guys, so here it is, 1979 Honda Super Sport. This is the CB750F model, and it's called a Super Sport. I don't know a lot about the Hondas of this year, but I'm going to learn a lot because we're going to restore this. Well, we're not going to restore it like nut and bolt pristine restoration. We're going to restore it so it's a rider, so it's an everyday rider. So we're going to replace everything that needs to be replaced, and we're going to keep everything that's in good condition and just going to clean it up. Right now I'm just going to wash it. Definitely needs to be, it's a lot of work. This is going to be a long project because the tank is really rusty. I'm not sure I can repair it, but I'm going to give it a shot. But everything on the bike is solid. This is a friend of mine's bike. I don't know if you guys have seen it in the past, that I restored an ATC, a Honda 110 three-wheeler, and so we're going to do this. This is his dad's bike, and we're gonna make it a daily rider. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm liking it. It's a big bike. I didn't realize how big this thing is, but it's a big bike. It's extremely comfy, and yeah, it's really cool. So yeah, so we don't know what kind of parts we're gonna have to find. We don't know what we're gonna have to find, what we're gonna have to look for. The mirrors, everything has just been sitting in a garage since 1992. That's the last time it's been on the road, is 1992, and it's got 11,000 miles on it. I don't know if you can see that. You know, it just needs a lot of cleaning. There's a lot of patina, a lot of rust, but hopefully we can get it running. The motor does spin over from what I can tell. I moved the back wheel in gear, and I could move the motor so it's not frozen. Don't know what the carbs look like. The exhaust, the headers are in good shape. There's no rust. There's no rust through. There's just surface rust. So I may be able to clean up the headers, but the exhaust, the mufflers are rotted, as you guys can see. And they do make some replacements. They're not exact, but they're pretty close. So we're going to try to do that instead of going into a complete system. And they only make Del Quebec makes 4-into-1 systems. So if we have to go that route, we'll have to go that route. So all the rubber will have to be replaced, and obviously, you know, the tires and stuff, brake lines, rebuild the calipers and stuff. Pretty much like I did on my 650, my brother's KZ650, the 1977. I restored everything I needed to restore, but it was made to be a rider. It's not going to be sitting. It's not going to be a show queen, or just sitting in a garage, or just bring it to shows. This thing is going to be ridden. So I can't wait to start this project. So all right, so this is the first installment, and we'll see. I don't know how I'm going to put this together. If I'm going to give you a little, you know, snippets here and there, or just put it all together in one shot. All right, guys. So now we have it apart. Now, you know what they say, it's got to look pretty bad before it looks good. So we've taken the brakes off, and the rotors look good, but the calipers need to be rebuilt. I had a hell of a time getting the pistons out of the calipers, but they're out. The calipers look good. The pistons are shot, so we're just going to replace them. They got kits for these, which is nice. But yeah, so we cleaned it up because it was a mess underneath there. I mean, it's still dirty here, but we did a good job of cleaning it up. The engine cranks over, no problem. The clutch works. All the gauges work, all the lights work, all the switchgear works. That's really cool. It's a little stiff. I'll take it apart and see if I can make it go a little bit smoother. I had good luck doing that with the Kawasaki I did, the KZ650, the 77. But everything looks like it's working. It's pretty cool. So it's still going to probably be a couple of months before I finish it. The carburetors have to be sent out. So that's it. Just wanted to give another installment. We'll do something, whatever. This is going to be a long project, long project. But I figured I want to record it and, you know, post it when it's all done. Until next time. All right, guys, let's see if I can get this thing running. Temporary fuel tank, temporary fuel hose. I thought I had a hose. It's got a little bit of a leak, but I think we can start it. Make sure we get some gas in there. Okay. Magic moment. Anticipation. Okay, ignition on. All right, guys, I'm going to just see if I can just... Oh, yeah. Now, I got no exhaust on it because you can see the exhaust is rusted out. So I just cut the pipes off and see if I can get some pipes to match. Oh, yeah, baby. Sounds real good. right, guys, next installment. All right, guys, yeah, I know. I cut the tank apart. Only way I could do this is to get all the rust out of here. I mean, it was really, really bad. It's not even, it's a lot of noise here. It's not the rust that was an issue. It's the dried gas. It turned into a goo, and then some parts were hard and crusty. So the rust is not bad. It's just light surface rust in here, but just getting all the old gas out that's been hardened, and combination of gooiness and hardened, and it was just a terrible. So basically, I put some vinegar in here, 5 gallons of vinegar, and let it sit for about 3 weeks, and then I just kind of washed it out, and there was still a lot of crap in there that I couldn't get to, so I cut this, and yeah, I know, it's you can't get these tanks, so I cut it apart. So I'm still cleaning it now, but I just wanted to do a short video on it. It's apart. Yeah, we got the wheels being done, got new tires. Going to clean up the wheels. The wheels need are going to clean up really, really well. But yeah, all right, guys, we'll be back with more videos. All right, guys, this is the finished product. Way past my skill level. My brain knows what to do, but my hands don't listen to my brain. Came out great. Thanks, James. All right, guys, here it is, ready to ride. And let's, real quick, let's do a before. And now after. Yeah, came out real good. And I'd say it's like 85% original. Some things I had to change, some things I wanted to change. So things I had to change, as you can see, the exhaust. The exhaust should come out to about here, but you can't get them. And they're welded. It's from the first header pipe is welded to the exhaust. The second one's like a Y. And I was able to find something that's period correct, even though they're like straight through, so it's got some sound to it. But I had a cut right here, and yeah, wasn't a problem. And then I was able to keep this factory shield on, so everything looks nice. And it looks very period correct, and it looks pretty stock if you didn't know. But they would come out a little long. Let's see what else I had to do with the gas tank. Oh my God, you guys seen from was it part 4? I had to cut the gas tank apart to get all the crud out. The bike's got some patina here and there. I'm going to talk about the gas tank real quick. Like you might see some like these little lines here. I don't know where they're from, but I tried to get them out, but I couldn't. But overall, the bike is just so cool looking compared to what it was. And oh yeah, back to the gas tank. The gas tank was just a mess. So a good friend of mine, I told him I'm going to cut it apart. He said I can weld it back together. I cut it apart. You guys seen, but that was probably my biggest thing. Now I guess you guys can see where it's not correct. It doesn't have the factory air box. And everybody says it's a no-no. You don't want it. You want to take the factory air box out because you don't want to touch it, because the carburetors, CV carburetors, they're very critical on restriction. And what a pain in the ass is. The boots are all shot and everything, and it's just a nightmare to put them back in. So I said, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. So I had this guy, Wyatt George, down in Texas, do the carbs, because they were absolutely a mess. He said the worst he's ever seen. And there was only one issue when I got him back. He said, you know, I don't know how he missed it, but he did. He set the float levels too high. So I got the float level set right, put the pods on, and the bike runs super. Yeah, you need, when it's cold, you need to choke a little bit, obviously, because it's the open air, you know, the big filters like that, the pod filters. But once it warms up, it accelerates right to 9,000 with no issues. So, I mean, he put the right jets in. I think 125, 78, and 40 on for the slow, the slow jet. I guess that's the low. I don't know. That's what he told me. So 125. 78 and 40, and the thing runs perfect. It just from idle's perfect. It starts up. In fact, I'm going to start it up in a second. I'll give you guys what it sounds like with the mufflers. But also, I had to change the brake lines because I couldn't get the factory ones. They didn't make them anymore, so I had to put stainless on in the front also. So I put stainless on. I was able to rebuild the front master cylinder, but you know, I couldn't get the rear one done. If I go real back, the back one I had to change. I got some aftermarket one, but it worked out all right. And what else? All the electrical components worked great. Didn't do anything electrical. Electrically, it was perfect. Basically, I would say 50-60% of this was just clean up. You know, the carbs. You know, I haven't gone over the valves. I will go over the valves. The clutch, I need to go over the clutch. It does slip in high RPM, but really high RPM. Normal riding is fine. More normal acceleration is fine, but just in high RPM. But that's no big deal to put new clutch plates in it and new tires. So I'd say 85% original. I mean, I think it looks really cool. I don't, you know, I know as a purist is going to say you got to leave that air box in, but I kind of like that look. And then I used filters for the crankcase breathers, you know, one over here and one over there. So yeah, and put new drain lines. And yeah, so what else? What else we do? New tires. All electrical components, like I said, work. Everything works. The lights, the bulb, everything works. The dash is so cool. I love these old dashes. Really cool. And only 11,700 miles on it. Everything works good. The mirrors were a total rust job. Same with the handles. All you need is some aluminum foil. You rub it on there. It takes all the surface rust off. It doesn't take the pitting off, but it takes all the surface rust. And you can see from before and after, it was a lot. Same with the covers. I just used a lot of polish, a lot of elbow grease, and got them pretty good. They're not pristine, but they're pretty nice. I mean, from, you know, they got some, you know, they could probably use a better job getting polished, but I think they all, I basically restored, this is a restored rider. I didn't restore it nut and bolt, so it sits in a showroom floor, never to be driven. This is to be ridden all the time. In fact, Dan told me, he says, you can ride it anytime you want. So, which I do. I love riding this thing. I did take it for a test ride, but guys, I'm not going to do a review today. It's just my part 5. I'll do a review another time, and so look forward to that and let you know what I think of this bike compared to today's bikes and what kind of bike this is for the time. Anyway, yeah. So I think it looks great. You guys tell me, what do you think? I think it came out really good. It was a labor of love. Some frustrating times I had with it, especially with spitting and sputtering the first time I drove, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And it was the float levels to be set. And I set the float levels to the factory specs, and the bike runs beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Sounds good. So let's start it up. Okay. You don't have to put in the clutch. I don't want to go crazy on it because of neighbors and stuff like that, but yeah, so it sounds good. And like I said, I'm going to do a review. Dan did take it for a ride, which was cool, and he liked it. So if he likes it, I'm happy. We're all happy. So it's a good deal. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this build. It's not a detailed build, but you know, I'm not into the detailed builds. I'm not going to sit there with the camera on and talk about all the things. I give a lot of credit to guys who do that. Anyway, that's it for now, and just stay tuned for the review, and I'll let you know how the bike rides really, really nice. I can tell you that. It's very comfortable, extremely comfortable, and it's a big bike. It's not a little bike. It weighs about 540, I think. So, yeah. So, stay tuned for the review, and later, guys.